all about Scorpio part 49, and this is the last. Okay, so we pretty much covered the Scorpio season, although it's still November 16 today while I'm recording this, and it's actually my birthday. Anyway, I'd like again to greet all Scorpios out there a happy birthday. I'm gonna do a separate video about my birthday celebration. Basically, I celebrated it with myself, okay? And although I'm gonna go on an out-of-town trip tomorrow, and I'm excited for that. Anywho, let's begin with November 20 zodiac, and again, credit goes to trustedpsychicmediums.com. All right, so if your birthday is November 20, you're helpful, empathetic, idealistic, and a dreamer. Underlying all of these traits is your tendency to get excited about a project, jump into it with both feet, and then drop it all of a sudden because you found something that seems better. This seems to be the recurring theme in your life. You can't seem to start something and then finish it. There's always something that pops up and grabs your attention. The more you think about the new opportunity, the less energy you have for the earlier commitment. Eventually, you let go of your earlier commitment and you move on to a new opportunity. Not surprisingly, you don't get to achieve much of anything. This applies across the board. We're not just talking about your career, your project, or your personal development. We're also talking, sadly, about your relationships. And it's very hard for you to develop a core set of lifelong friends because you're just bouncing from person to person. Well, pretty much like because of they're in the borderline of Sag, right? So yeah, that's probably why. Anyway, for love, they find it hard to commit to one person. See, we're getting the Sag energy here for November 20 to 21 peeps. As much as you believe you're in love with somebody, the moment somebody more intelligent, interesting, and attractive comes along, you lose interest immediately. Now, don't get me wrong, you can be very passionate. You can really believe that this person that you're with is the love of your life. You are able to focus a lot of emotional intensity and passion towards that person. However, when you meet with challenges or when certain things happen in your life, it doesn't take much for another person to attract your attention. And this is why I would strongly urge you to avoid long-term relationships when you're young. When you get older, you increase the likelihood that you would be able to commit for the long haul. Once you reach that stage, then that will be a good time to commit to somebody. For career, people born on this day are very idealistic and have a lot of energy and passion. You can really be passionate about a project. The problem is you can't stay passionate long enough. You're rarely able to take a project from the beginning all the way to its logical conclusion. Accordingly, my advice for you is to find a career that is very structured. You need a tight structure and tight deadlines. And you have to remember that unless you find a career that has these features, chances are you're going to be bouncing from job to job and career to career. It seems that you would spend your whole life in transition. Unless you're perfectly happy about that kind of situation, it's a good idea to look for jobs that are tightly structured. We're talking about tasks that are clearly delineated and have a very short deadline. 24 hours may be a bit too much. I look for something that needs to be done within 8 hours or less. For personality traits, you're known to be a great people person. You're known to be an energetic, passionate, and focused individual. And you're also very intelligent. The problem is you have a tough time focusing on one thing and carrying it all the way through. It seems like something bigger, better, and more attractive always comes your way. Not surprisingly, you lose interest in what you're doing and eventually drop it like a hot potato. Positive traits, when focused, nothing can stand in your way, seriously. I know this is probably quite shocking to you because of the lackluster results you've been getting, but this is what you're capable of. You're capable of tremendous success and victories in your life. The problem is you never allow yourself to achieve that level of effectiveness because you give in to your extremely curious nature. You need to develop a little bit of tunnel vision for you to truly perform at peak levels. Negative traits, you're very fickle-minded. It seems that you have made up your mind and have decided to do one thing. Yeah, very Sag because they're changeable. And Scorpios are actually fixed signs. Anyway, Once people depend on you to follow through, you drop everything. This is very annoying, and you often lose friends and teammates because of this. This also applies to your attitude towards your relationships. If there's any personal flaw you need to work on, it is this. You need to be able to start something and carry it all the way through, and don't quit until you finish. Top tips: you should avoid committing too early and always looking for the bigger and better thing. My best advice to you is to stop thinking about bigger and better opportunities. Instead, focus on what's in front of you. Focus on doing an excellent job with whatever it is you have already committed to, and take baby steps. This can be quite uncomfortable at first, but the more victories you rack up and the longer you stay in there to do a good job, the more you will get used to it. And there's no better time to start from now. Lucky color for November 20th, zodiac, is red-orange. This color projects aggression, passion, and energy. Don't get me wrong, when it comes to really short-term projects, you're on fire. See, it's more of like a Sage energy. It's almost as if you're unstoppable. That's how relentless you could be. However, your kryptonite is when the timeline is stretched. That's where you easily fall apart. Lucky numbers are 4, 9, 11, 18, and 23. And the final thought: look for something that you can be passionate about for the rest of your life. I know this is a tall order, but you need to sit down and really sort through your priorities. What is the most important thing? It should have nothing to do with money. It should have nothing to do with how other people view you. It has to do, or everything to do, with the kind of life you would like for yourself. And this requires a little bit of soul searching, but believe me, once you're able to do this type of heavy lifting, you would be able to focus and achieve the kind of personal victories you are otherwise capable of. Interesting. So that's for November 20. And again, you can feel that Scorpio Sage energy, right? So because it's the borderline already, I mean, right after that we're moving on to Sag, so it's the late cusper. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pause this again as usual. I'm gonna drink. Hold on. Okay, November 21. So you're emotional, unpredictable, and very, very forgiving. Interestingly, this combination of traits usually aren't associated with Scorpios. In many situations, Scorpios make for really bad enemies. Why? They are very vindictive. Even the slightest offense would be remembered for a long, long time. They often wait until the right opportunity comes along until they stick the knife in. Interestingly enough, you don't have this. Your emotional constitution is focused more on yourself. You often are your own worst critic. You believe that by forgiving other people, you can make them like you more. And the only thing that you're really achieving is, turning yourself into some sort of emotional doormat. And you need to stop doing that. For love, very passionate, faithful, loving, and forgiving. You make for a great romantic partner. The problem is you need to pick the right people for that kind of loyalty and affection. Sadly, you're so insecure and lacking in self-confidence that you easily end up with the wrong people. These people are users, emotional parasites, and negativity black holes. It's as if your friends will only call you if you have a serious problem. And at the end of the conversation, they feel a little bit better about themselves and you feel like you want to hang yourself. That's the kind of uneven relationships you find yourself in. I was only talking about friendships, but imagine this multiplied to 1,000 times when it comes to your romantic life. You need to get a grip. You need to remember that you're not as bad as you think you are. You are worth loving, so you need to stand your ground and wait for somebody that deserves your love and affection. For career, they're very analytical, and this goes hand in hand with your introspective nature. This is why a career in accountancy, auditing, or some sort of analytics would be the best fit for you. You're better with numbers and ideas than you're with emotions and people. And the moment you get in a situation where you are dealing with emotional workmates, you end up kicking yourself and feeling very lousy. Okay, so basically, people born on this, November 21 date, they're known to be introspective, sensitive, shy, diligent, and faithful. If given a task, you can get down to business, zero in on what needs to be done, and take care of everything. While people slacks off around you, you're able to find a focus to get things done. As far as relationships go, you also tend to be a martyr. You often find yourself in one-sided relationships. Positive traits: if a job needs to be done and it is analytical in nature, you are the person to assign to that job. You know how to focus, you know how to put the proper amount of energy and analysis into a project to see it through. Somebody could give you something to do and they can come back later on. They can be assured that the job will get done. But for the negative traits, people born on this day can be very clingy. They cling to the wrong people. They often find themselves in relationships that are very toxic and imbalanced. And they have a partner that's just using them and abusing them, but they can't seem to let go. And the reason for this is a deep and profound insecurity. So, top tips: you should avoid people who use you. You should avoid jobs that are confrontational in nature. You should focus on healing that big gap that you're suffering from. And the lucky color would be dark orange. So this color projects distrust, personal weakness, insecurity, lack of confidence, and a soothing nature. This may seem like a contradiction in terms, but it actually makes a lot of sense as far as your personal choices and life patterns go. Lucky numbers are 1, 2, 10, 12, and 26. And the final thought: you need to get real as your source of insecurity. Can't run away from it forever. You need to stare that fear right in the eye and see it for what it is. In many cases, problems and insecurities that we feel are giants turn out to be midgets the moment we confront them. So there you go. That's November 20th and 21st. And again, thank you so much for listening to All About Scorpio recordings that I've been doing. I mean, I started with years ago, and basically, again, I'm just basing it off from websites through research, because I love to learn about astrology or learn about these things, okay? So, again, the credit goes to trustedpsychicmediums.com. Pretty much check that out, and it's quite interesting. What else? I guess that's it. Yeah. Maybe it will take a long time again for me to post something about Scorpio, so bear with me because of the busy or tight schedule that I have. But I really do appreciate it, all of you guys listening to it. You know, some people might find it boring because you don't, you know, some people are visual or what, but yeah. So anyway, that's it. Happy birthday again to all my fellow Scorpios out there. Love you guys. Stay tough, stay strong. And remember, you know, just be mindful. I mean, again, before I wrap it up, be mindful of the negative traits of a Scorpio. I guess the main reason here is that it's nice to know your strengths and weaknesses, okay? So for me, personally, the reason why I'm understanding the personality, the overall personality of a Scorpio, you know, being a Scorpio, I've noticed some negative sides of me. And when I checked that out and I did some research, I told myself, you know what, this needs to be healed, or this needs to be improved, because again, at the end of the day, you're not doing this for other people. You're doing it for yourself. And all, you know, Scorpio is all about transformation and rebirth, right? So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully that helped you a lot. Made you think a little bit, but yeah. Happy birthday. I'll see you soon. Bye.